Hi guys, how you doing, and welcome to my channel, Claire Thackeray. Today is the 13th of October 2022 and I'm about to start a series of videos where I'm going to be channeling the energy of Marilyn Monroe. This will be episode 1. Please do make sure that you watch them in order because otherwise it won't make sense. So let's begin. I think Marilyn was one of the first people I channeled when I started this channel, and I've not channeled her since at all. The last time I connected with her energy was when I lived at the old house that we've just moved from, and I never put it on video. It was something that happened during the day and she came through so strong. It was like she was sat in the living room, and for various reasons I just didn't channel it. I didn't do a video on it. I can't even remember what she said in that channel at all. I just know it was really strong and really powerful. And then in the comments when I say, who would you like me to channel, etc., I always get Marilyn Monroe. And I thought, you know what, I really feel like I want to channel Marilyn Monroe. And especially with the new film that's come out, Blonde. And let's go into the numerology. Or shall we do the numerology second? Before I go any further with this video, I need to put a disclaimer on it that we will be discussing some sensitive topics around sexual abuse, sexual exploitation of women, sexual exploitation of vulnerable women within Hollywood. Okay, so if that is a trigger for you, for whatever reason, or it's something that you don't want to face or can't face, I actually ask you to try and face it, because it's something, when she came through stronger this morning, I really struggled. And it got to a point where I thought, why is this channeling not flowing like it usually does for me? And one of the things that came through was, you're not listening to Marilyn. You're putting your own preconceived ideas of something onto Marilyn, and you're not actually listening to Marilyn. Even if you see my voice went, because the truth is that we don't want to see many things within our world. We just don't. And this could be in relation to people of power, people that are famous, people that we've trusted, people that we've idolized. Oh, it went again. Sorry, it's just because something is coming, right? I will do the numerology before I start. I sat with her energy this morning, and I'll take it back a couple of weeks. Gary came in one day and he says, well, this new Blonde film, you're not going to want to watch this, Claire, because apparently there's a scene in it where Marilyn is raped by the president. They don't name the president, but we know there was only one president in power at this time. And for legal reasons, please do not name him in the comments, because again, he's not here to defend himself and this isn't an energetic reading. Please don't name him in the comments, okay? As the film's done, we will refer to him as the president, okay? And I was like, you're joking. So before I go any further, I am an avid Marilyn fan. She, you know, honestly, I've read the books, I've watched the films, I love her, honestly. And this is why I got pink, I got the red love hearts, painted my nails red, because I was thinking about the energy of Marilyn. But it's not Marilyn that wants to talk today, it's Norma Jean. And I sat down, I haven't actually watched the drama, okay, the film. I was gonna, and then I decided I wasn't gonna, because I heard something that triggered me. I don't want to see a scene where that happens. I actually have watched the scene, I watched it yesterday on YouTube. And I must admit, when I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, this is dark, oh my god. And it actually repulsed me. And I sat with her this morning and I said, so then, let's do this video, Marilyn, put to bed these rumours, this dark film that's been made about you. And she was observing me, and very, very gently, she gave me some information. I watched a couple of videos, a couple of shorts on YouTube, just to reconnect with her voice, reconnect with her energy. And one of the ones I watched was where she looked like she was drugged, and she was drugged. It was a scene from a film, and you could see her eyes were all over the place. A lot of the times she was drugged, and I could tell she was trying. And I sat down with her and I said, and I was actually having a bit of a rant about Blonde. And she said, Claire, please don't, because that's somebody's work. Please don't do that. She said, that is something that somebody's created. And I actually said to her, how can you say that when it depicts you in such a dark way? She says, the thing is that we are all multi-dimensional human beings. And that film shows the dark aspect, which was true. Which we know that Marilyn had an extremely tragic life, an extremely sad life. And I think when you're a fan of somebody, you want to view them as though everything was, but we don't want to see that bit. We just want to see the blonde bombshell. You know, the light that she held, which she held so much light. I mean, her heart and her soul are so pure. It is untrue. And I think which is why I'm struggling to do this channeling. Because I wanted to come on and say something different, and I'm not going to be saying something different. When she came through to me, she came through as Norma Jean. And she was quite, not adamant, but she was quite forthright in her energy of, this is Norma Jean talking, not Marilyn. When I went to Google the book, because apparently I didn't know this, but the film is based on a fictional book about Marilyn called Blonde. Apparently the author has said that she, when writing the book, felt that she connected with the energy of Norma Jean, and that Norma Jean channeled the book through her. And I went cold. I was like, well, that's what I feel. When I'm channeling now, I don't even know what to call the video, whether it's going to be channeling Marilyn Monroe or channeling Norma Jean, because it really feels as though this is going to be Norma Jean. But I know for people typing in Google, they need Marilyn Monroe. It's a weird world, isn't it? So I'm sat like, okay. And it's almost as though she's having to support me through this, okay? And I said, I'm going to do a meditation before I start today's work. And I literally put my music on. I laid back, and this vision, it was like a film still, and it wasn't the one that was on Blonde, it was a different one. It was her, it was the president, okay, and they were on a bed. And Marilyn was drunk, Marilyn was also drugged. It was a totally different scene to the one on the film, and this has never happened to me before in meditation. I literally closed my eyes and it went poof, as it was like a film reel coming over my eyes. And what I saw was Marilyn on this bed. She was drunk, she was out of it and coming to, and there was a president, and they were having sexual stuff, okay? They were having sex on the bed, and she at some points was coming up and saying no, and she was out of it as you would, and my blood ran cold. And I had to really just sit, and I had to watch that. And I came to, and it was like, oh my God, what do you do with that? And then I felt my own guides came in and said, yesterday, Claire, you did a video on your YouTube channel where you were talking about the apples falling from the tree. This isn't going to be a witch hunt towards the president either, because that's not fair, because again, there's higher dimensional teaching with this, believe it or not. And I don't want it to turn into the comments where, do you know, they said, he said, they said. I don't want that, because I actually think this should be treated as something quite sacred and quite, this is somebody's share, and it feels as though the energy is like that, as though, imagine you experience that and then you're having to share that with the world. And my guide said, yeah, and this is your moment, Claire, and on your awakening journey, you are going to come across situations on your journey where people that you admired, looked up to, be them historical figures, be them people that are still alive, where you're going to be asked to re-evaluate. And some people are looking at it and going, yeah, I can see that it hurts, it's uncomfortable, God, it's disgusting. But I'm going to process that, and I'm going to go with it, and I hear you and I see you to the victims. Some people are going to go, no, I don't believe that, I admire that person. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be, because the minute you say that, the minute somebody comes up on the world stage as doing something that's questionable, and you go, no, you actually block your evolution. You block your evolution. It's end of, blocked. What we have to do then is go into our heart and to see what this brings up for us. And it's the same old question of, we struggle to see the powers that we call them the powers. Why I call them the powers that were, is because people call them the powers that be. When you call them the powers that be, you give them power. When you call them the powers that were, you're actually taking the power off them. We're going to see more of this, be it with women, be it with children, be it with anything. We're going to see lots of figures within our world, and again, at soul level, soul contract level, there will be a soul contract for this. And it's a case of how we look at the people in power, the people that we trust to run the ship, the people that we trust to run the country, okay? And There'll be many people I will have lost watching this video now. I know that. And people that come in for the first time, I'm not watching this. But actually, if you love Marilyn, or you love yourself and you genuinely want to see her as a multidimensional human being, then please give her the chance to talk. And please do not turn this into a slanging match, okay? When she came through as well, she said she wanted to talk about the divine feminine. I then started to pull some cards as I'm setting up. I said, go on then, Marilyn, give me... I always let the people that I'm channeling choose the decks. I said, go on, Marilyn, give me a deck. Give me a deck. She chose the decks. I said, go on, Marilyn, give me a card. And remember, she said she wanted to talk about the divine feminine. One card came out and I gasped. It was this one. It was the divine feminine card. You cannot make it up. She also chose the Gaian tarot, which is this one, which is about Mother Earth. When I actually saw her energy, she came in with the energy of Mother Earth. And she came in as Norma Jean. She came in without makeup on. She came in, I think I said, did I say yesterday that she actually came with like a greyish hair that was beautifully like tied up in like a knot at the back of her head. And it was though she was allowed to be herself. She's not gone grey because of the trauma. She's gone grey because she's coming through as somebody that she wanted to be able to be in life. Okay? And that's the Gaian tarot, and she's showing me herself in like this robe, like a Roman robe. She looks beautiful. It's pure white. Her sparkle's still there. She's as strong as ever. She has healed and she is healing, and she is in a good place. Anything else I need to bring in? Oh, this channeling is so hard at times. So, numerology. So, Marilyn Monroe, Norma Jean. Date of birth, 1st of June, 1926. She passed away on the 4th of August, 1962. That makes her a 25. So 25 is chaos, destruction, new beginnings, change, progress, and overcoming challenges. Now bear in mind what I've just told you about that scene that I was shown. 2 and 5 together. Intellectuals, deep thinkers, philosophers and scholars analyse things from every angle before making a decision. Their souls are visionary and their way of thinking unique. Okay, so that's part of her soul path, her numerology. And one of the things she showed me as well as she was getting ready, after I'd watched a clip of her in a film, I think it was Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and she started to walk around my living room. She actually showed me getting out of bed and she started to walk around my living room as Norma Jean. And she actually said to me that when she went to act, not only did she have to get into character for the role that she was playing, she also had to get into the character of the role of Marilyn Monroe, that they were so totally different. Norma Jean, who she is at soul level, and then this character, Marilyn Monroe, that was produced by Hollywood. The makeup, the glamour, the sparkly eyes, the swagger, everything. It was all created. It wasn't her. And by the time that she actually got to the actor's studio, she was so exhausted by being in the character of Marilyn and being the Marilyn that people wanted to see, including the men around her, that is why she struggled with her acting. And actually, if she'd have been allowed to turn up at the theatre or the studio as Norma Jean, she would have had a better chance to take her acting to the next level. But it was so exhausting. Just, I mean, you think about it. You get up and you've got to then get into role before you leave your door, and then you've got to get into role again, and then you've got to come back out of that role, which is why a lot of her films, it was a bit like the Meghan Markle acting, where she was actually practically acting herself, because by the time she got there, she was exhausted, if that makes sense. So let's get going. Let's take some water. One of the things we're going to touch on is the divine feminine and how we as women are basically letting ourselves down. And I said this yesterday, didn't I? I said we need to stop calling it the Divine Feminine, because it's like saying Mother Earth is struggling at the minute. It's not Mother Earth, it's planet Earth. It's not the Divine Feminine that are struggling, it's women. Women have come so far away from this Divine Feminine energy of beauty, of strength, of purity, of birthing, of miracle, of sustaining, of nursing, of not selling ourselves, not demoting ourselves, not selling ourselves short. We've got this energy here of this physical energy of, we've got this beautiful pure energy that can sustain us, but we're turning to this, which is where we'll sleep with anyone, we'll be easily manipulated by power, we'll wear too much makeup, we'll dye our hair to an extent where it affects our scalp or it dries our hair. I've done that, which is why I've stopped dyeing. We'll pump fillers into us, we'll defecate our bodies with the knife just to be beautiful. We'll forget our ability to nurture children, we'll neglect our children, we'll neglect our self-care, we'll take things that numb us because we can't cope, be it drugs, be it drink, be it recreational drugs, be it paracetamol, be it pharmaceutical drugs, okay? So how do we then come back to this, which is where we're meant to be going? And so many of us are stuck here. And what I'm being shown is that she's showing me that some women are firmly here. They've totally cut off from their Divine Feminine energy. They're blaming and shaming everyone. They're becoming the victim. They're in victim mode. And some of us are starting to transition back over into the Divine Feminine. And that's what she's showing. There are still women that are still stuck there. But there's women now that are starting to gently transition over. And they're starting to reinvent themselves back into the Divine Feminine. She's saying that women are beautiful as they are. Every woman is beautiful. This isn't about walking around dowdy without makeup on and not wearing a nice jumper. Look at me with the pink jumper on. It's not about that. It's about, what am I wearing this jumper for? Am I wearing this jumper to impress somebody, to impress one of the watchers or the watchers? Am I wearing this jumper to impress my boss? Let's get real. I'm wearing this jumper to impress the president? Am I wearing this jumper to impress the next door neighbour that's male? Or am I wearing this jumper because I love the colours, I love the textures, it makes me feel good, and I love wearing bright colours and love hearts? Am I putting my makeup on because I love wearing makeup? Or am I wearing makeup because I feel ugly? Why do I feel ugly? Am I wearing makeup because I'm going to cover what I did with the jumper? And it's about healing that. Why are we as women selling ourselves short with men in power? We're all doing it. We've all done it at some point, be it in this lifetime or be it in a previous lifetime. We're dazzled by money. We're dazzled by power. I feel as though there's some channeling coming in, so let's connect. So Marilyn, why, as women, do we find ourselves in similar situations as you did with the president? Not just the president, but with all men of power within the Hollywood, because it wasn't just the president. Because we are scared of our own strength. Because we have lost sight of who we are. Because we no longer love ourselves. We no longer love each other. Because we no longer see the divine that we each carry. Women and men carry sacred cords within them. And both men and women have forgotten how to tap into these sacred cords. These sacred cords are within the heart chest, within the heart chakra. And these have been shut off by choice, by grooming, society, by blame and shame, by victim. Sometimes we even think it's expected of us in certain circles, especially when you think of Hollywood. Especially if you're going into work into a hierarchical hierarchy. Why can't I say that word? Hierarchy. Especially when you're thinking about the energy of going into a hierarchy. In episode 2, I'm going to talk about JFK. I did it myself, they see what I did there. But anyway, I know I will. We will talk about, I'm calling the president. I'm going to take some water. I was thinking I'm going to take this. It's awful because I'm actually sat here now, and even though I've not put this video on, I'm sat here and I can see some of the energy that's going to come in. Because we still cannot see what we're meant to be seeing, because so many of us refuse to see it. We want to see that Hollywood is glamorous. We want to see that the president is glamorous. We want the fairy tale. We're so desperate for the fairy tale that we're forgetting that we're selling our souls. We're selling our souls to Hollywood. We're selling our souls to the political system, and we're not seeing the bare basics. And even when somebody comes up and says, this has happened, we can't face it. I don't want to see her in that light. I want to see her as glamorous Marilyn. Yeah, she had an affair, but it was okay. It was glamorous. That's what you do in those circles. It was the president. He was good looking. He was this. He was that. And actually, we need to learn that. We need to look at the bare basics of our industries, our political industries, of the acting industry, of how we treat women, how as women we treat each other. Okay, and she's showing me up, she's opening up like a sacred space, and she's inviting people to come into this sacred space. She's saying some people don't want to come into this sacred space yet, they're not ready. But there are many willing women, you see what I'm saying? Many willing women that are ready to come into this sacred space. And she wants us, so visualise yourself in this sacred space. It's out in the woods, we're surrounded by trees. It's safe, we're protected. There's also Native American guides around this sacred space. Not that we need it, because actually it's sacred. And in the middle of this circle there is a fire. I am literally going ice cold. In the middle of this circle is a fire, because we're going to be doing a fire ceremony energetically, and we're going to be doing it in the next round, okay, episode 2. And you come into this circle and you come in with an open, balanced mind. It's not a circle to blame, to shame. It's a circle where we're going to learn, okay? She's not going to start gossiping and feeding the rumour mill, but she wants to talk from her soul, okay? So we'll meet you in episode 2. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.